You remember when Emperor Trajan founded Rome in 4000 BC, about 4000 years before he was born? Man, those were good times. Hello everyone, and welcome to Civilization 6. This is by far my most anticipated game of 2016. In fact, I've been looking forward to this game for years now. I've got about 500 or so hours, probably more, on Civ 5. And I anticipate I'll probably have about the same on this by the time I stop playing it. So I thought I'd give you guys just a quick look and do about a week worth of videos on it, just because it's a game I'm very excited about. Now there are lots of changes from this, but I should note from the outset that I'm coming in solely from Civ 5. I think I played about an hour of Civ 4 and didn't really play anything else, which I guess is sacrilege to some people, because Civ 4 seems to be everyone's darling of the series. So all my comparisons are probably going to be to Civ 5, so I apologise if you want a full series comparison. But the first thing that people will notice upon booting up is probably the art style, which got a lot of flack when it was first announced for being kind of cartoony and a bit silly almost. I mean, if I scroll in, you can kind of see it's very bright, it's very simple, with a lot of people complaining it looked like the mobile app, Civ Revolution. But I actually adore it. I never got the hate. Because Civ was never really pushing for realism anyway, was it? I mean, your entire armies consist of like the same 4 people. And like hitting each other with sticks, which is kind of, generally not a gritty depiction of war. So I kind of like the kind of silly, bright art style. Okay. And yeah, the barbarians have found me already, so we're getting straight into knocking down these barbarians. Come on, guys, you can hit him harder than that. He's 28 damage. He's only got a wooden stick. You've got stone axes. Look at this guy. He's got a metal mace. When do you have, is that? Oh, maybe that's a stone one. I was gonna say, 'cause I'm pretty sure we haven't even researched how to get iron out of the ground yet. Right. Oh god. Oh, it's only a city-state. Well, that gives me a chance to explain how city-states are a bit different. Instead of just getting like a stock, like a money bonus for finding them first, you get an envoy, which is much more exciting. Because these are all the various things that envoys do for you. And the more envoys you have in a city-state, the more influence you have over it. And the more stuff they give you. This one's faith-based, so depending on how many envoys I send over, and I'll get points towards envoys each turn, depending on various different policies and so on. It'll give me more in return. And if I have more envoys than any other city, I become the suzerain, where they basically become my ally, which is probably going to be used in the diplomacy victory, like last time, which is one of the annoying victories that always seems to come up from behind. Right, so met them. What have we got? What do they want me to do? Recruit a great general. Okay, that's going to take a while.
Enacting new policies in our government.
It is
Yep,
not
yep, I get
wisdom,
it.
but authority that makes a law.
And that was another thing I like about Civ 6. Absolutely everything is narrated by Sean Bean. I mean, I want my entire life narrated by Sean Bean. I'll walk out the front door and Sean Bean's hiding in the bushes and he's describing me as I'm walking down the street. But one thing Sean Bean didn't say in the intro screen is he didn't tell me to make a empire that would last the test of time, which I thought was a catchphrase of Civ. I'll just explain what I'm quickly doing here. This is like social policies have been kind of split up into 2 separate things: civics and these kind of government policies. And they are cards that you'll get by unlocking new civics, which are essentially the old school social policies. And you can slot in a certain amount depending on which government you have. That will give you bonuses empire-wide. For example, if I view my available governments, as I unlock various different civics, these will unlock that will give me bonuses and slots for cards. So, whereas if can I view my civics? Oh. Okay, that. Yeah, and this is the civics tree, which is laid out like a tech tree. And these are all the different things we can use culture to get, which give us better cards and buildings, and I think it might be units sometimes, yeah. So it's kind of like they've kind of morphed social policies into a kind of tech tree combined with a card system, which is interesting. Let's see, foreign should go. Now I'm Rome, so trade routes are quite important for me. So I'm going to push for them early. Yeah, but I was wondering when you didn't say an empire will stand the test of time. I mean, that's
Reconnaissance units like
probably for the best. Because I don't think you're going to see some really stunning strategic plays here. This is going to be a playthrough of misplays. Because me building an empire that will stand the test of time is a bit like a man with Parkinson's syndrome trying to make a house of cards during a heavy gale. Someone's going to end up with the Ace of Spades lodged in their forehead. Let's use auto explore. Ooh, fish. Alright. Let's get a builder out. Who is, as you might have guessed, a replacement for the worker. And I'll show how they're different when I get one out. That'll be a few turns now. Right, what have we got around our base? We've got stone. We've got quite a bit of stone, which is going to be good for production, I guess. Copper, also good. And rice, which is a bit like how wheat operates in the in Civ 5, and how wheat operates in Civ 6 up there. It's just like a bonus food resource, which is useful to have, because I want Rome to grow.
I thought clay must feel happy in the good potter's hand.
Did you know? Well, cheers, Sean. Always welcome in Rome. Just try not to die. Right, husbandry. I can't see any horses around. I don't know if that reveals horses on the map now. It doesn't say. It just says it allows. What's the enemy on? How would it be? Well, whatever. We've got more mining around us than we have animals anyway, so we'll push for mining. Oh, I found a tribal village. Now, I'm not 100% sure what these do. Maybe, I think they might be just tiles that give you experience, but I'm going to send them. Yeah, villagers share the secrets of their well-organised community. Your progress towards mysticism has advanced considerably. Yeah, that's another thing that's really quite cool in Civ 6. Like, how you play, basically, can influence your progress towards technologies and, there you go, and civics. So I found that. How did I just find another continent? I literally just walked about 5 meters away. You can't just, like, walk for a day and then say, fuck it, I've explored enough, new continent. We're going to name it Caliharia. You can see Rome, but that's fine. That's fine. Done our job, we can get paid. 10 minutes exciting. Job done. Oh, wait up. More barbarians. I kind of don't want to tangle with them yet. I guess I might fortify them in case they attack me. But if they bugger off, then I can find their camp. Righto then. Oh, I didn't even notice we've got tobacco here. Requires irrigation. I believe we can get progress towards irrigation by building a farm. Which I'm going to build on this rice anyway. So that's all good. I also want to get coastal. Hey, it worked. Oh, that was devastating. Nice.
The nation lives by exchanging.
Okay, look, we can get some trade routes going on. 2 gold trade routes, naval units, and we can, yeah. But I'm going to keep all that same for the moment. I want that production bonus. It's going to be nice early on when we're building up granaries and bits and pieces like that. And a Pantheon. We could push towards early Empire. Or we could go craftsmanship. Let's have a look. Tradition, maybe. I kind of want to get that because it's good for money. Yeah, let's get craftsmanship. So we got the base ones open, and we can open up the tree a bit more. Oh yeah, my scout keeps wandering into. Okay, so found another one. That's fine. Yerevan can deal with that. Not my problem. But we are going to need to get ourselves a standing army at some point. Because not only are the barbarians more aggressive, I think the AI is more aggressive as well. So, we're going to be attacked. I can't rely on my Civ 5 tactics of just buttering up everyone and hiding in the corner until about the last 30 turns or so. Because I was playing this yesterday, and I had the Vikings right next to me, and they like to expand. And I don't know if you know your Viking history, but they tend to be quite violent fellows. Well, that's a bit harsh. Ooh, knowledge of bronze working. The Vikings were very good at war, but if my memory of Viking history serves, they were actually quite a decent folk when they weren't raping, pillaging, looting, and all that good stuff. They had a nice system of government. They were fair towards their people. It's just that if you weren't a Viking, you may end up with your head several feet from your body. Which, you know, very reasonable. Hey, Rome has got us a builder. So I can show you how these work now. Let's get him on, yeah, okay. So the big difference with workers is, there's two things really. One is that improvements build instantly. You don't have to wait 10 turns for him to build a farm. But as you can see there, we've only got 3 builds in him. So once we build 3 things, he disappears. We have to build another one. So if I get him up a farm here to show you what I mean. Yeah, there, boost my large irrigation. My camera got tugged away there. So that farm's now just completely built. And there are good bits to this and bad bits to this in my view. Good is that you can get a city up and running quickly. Because I can build literally improvement here, here, and here. So I'll have production, some luxury, and some food right off the bat. That's great. The downside is that you keep having to skip your production over to builders every time you want to improve something. Which to me is a bit annoying, because I like to keep a chain of building going on, bits and pieces. I hate kind of slotting in workers and slowing everything down. So it remains to be seen kind of how well it works in the late game. The biggest advantage of doing it like this, I can see, is that you don't have to just keep your workers wandering around in the late game, which I find incredibly boring.
Mount Kilimanjaro is not Wi-Fi enabled, so I had to spend 2 weeks in Tanzania talking to the people on my trip.
Cheers, Sean. I'm sorry to hear about your Wi-Fi troubles. Okay, yeah, that's my astrology. Actual one, Mount Kilimanjaro. I don't know if discovering it actually boosts anything other than that, though. So if I discover another one, I don't know if it'll do anything. Right, I'm gonna plonk one on the copper, and one on the stone. Because mining should be done by the time he gets there. Sweet, everything's coming up. Millhouse. Oh, I moved him before I forgot to promote him. Oops. Did he get a promotion just for discovering Mount Kilimanjaro? Oh god, they brought in slingers. Sacrifice yourselves against me. Break upon my walls. Who deserves more credit than the wife of a coal miner? Good quote. Right, let's get you over here. Oh, you're out. Alright, you can bludgeon slingers. Slingers are a great addition, because I can build them too, as like a kind of incredibly early game ranged units, so you don't have to wait until archers to try and beat people back. Right, we could push for astrology and get out that, but I want to get writing out because I want a high amount of science, but I also kind of want to get animal husbandry out at some point. No, I'm going to push for writing. Then I can build that campus district, which I'll talk about when I get there. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get our science up and running before the other civs do. Who we haven't met yet. There's 6 of them. I put it on a large map and cut off a couple of AI, because this is my only second time playing it. So I don't want this to end with me being burned at the stake or whatever. Seeing as the emperor I'm playing as, Trajan, is one of the few emperors that actually died in his bed, rather than, you know, being cut down, stabbed in the back. So I kind of want to keep that, you know, true to form. Okay, founding a pantheon. I don't know if religion is much different in this one, but the founding of the pantheon seems pretty similar. So I'm going to go with my old favourite of fertility rights, because it means my cities are going to grow, which means more science, means more everything basically, as long as I can balance it around luxury resources. Found this pantheon, yes. Now I'm typically rubbish at actually doing anything with my religion. It's like at the bottom of the great chain of things that I care about. I already attacked with you, didn't I? Let's promote you. Can I? I thought it's telling me I can promote him, but there's no button to do that. There should be a little arrow there, I think. Ooh, maybe we've encountered our first bug. Oh well, I'll keep him moving. Oh, is that a trouble village? Yep. Great. I assume they're kind of like ruins were in Civ 5. I wasn't sure what to make of them when I first saw them. I thought they were like little things you could add to your empire and work if you wanted, but Right, Rome's about to grow. Which is... oh god, this thing is... finish them off! Kill them! Go on, dude. Suck it to him. Oh, yeah. Finish with a flourish. Right, okay, let's get a mine going on. Give us production and a bit of copper. I've given you the ability to create an axle. Will the wheel follow? I would have called the other way around. You make a wheel and then you make the axle by necessity of needing something to go through it. Then I don't know much about the history of the wheel. I thought it was this kind of common sense thing without any one discoverer. Oh, fucking hell. Run away! I don't want to lose my only military unit. Right, let's get you on the stone. And let's get you in there. 40 gold. We're actually not doing too bad on gold. I seem to be able to earn gold a bit easier in this one. I don't know what's changed there. I used to need to be bankrupt half the time in Civ 5. It's pretty much because I focus almost entirely on population and science. So my people are unhappy and poor, but they're very clever. When defending against ranged attacks. I haven't actually looked much at this tree. It's quite simple, but there's some interesting and useful stuff in there. You can scale cliff walls, for example. Combat strength versus anti-cavalry units. It's kind of pointless for a warrior, isn't it? No combat strength from even penalty when attacking from sea or river. Ooh, amphibious. We have invented scuba gear. And fighting in a district, that's going to be useful. So if I go kind of like that, might be beneficial. And yeah, you get a quick, you get the 50 health whatever you choose in this one. You don't have to sacrifice your promotion, which was kind of a weird way of doing it. Let's get the quarry up and running. Ooh. Aha. I don't know, we can fine tune our production techniques. Ooh, that did quite a lot for me.
Without craftsmanship, inspiration is a mere reed shaken in the wind.
Have we got anything more exciting we can use? Nah, because we need to get one of the governments unlocked. So we need to get political philosophy for that, which is a ways down the line. So we can't use these cards at the moment because we only have a slot for military and economic. So I'm going to push for state workforce, I think. I intend to get a district out after this, so that will help. Annoyingly, I think I might have to raise one of the stone things to do it, unless I can afford to build an extra little bit of land here, because as you'll see, where you place the campus is important, and I'll get a bit more into that when I
Our
say that.
city-state neighbors have made a
Okay, I really should turn that off. Or listen to them. Either way, I met Hong Kong, have I? Yeah. Okay, Hong Kong is now just on the continent. A little puddle of water next to it. Very true to history there, guys. Alright. Did I meet you first? No. Someone else is around. Might meet our first AI soon, and pray to God it's not like the Aztecs or the Vikings. How you doing, buddy? I'm gonna need to set my... Oh yeah, this is one of the movement things is that you have to expend all your movement points. You can't move like one plane then over a river. Moving over a river takes all your points, and you need all your points spare. So to show what I can do is running back there. Whereas in 5, I think you kind of game it by moving one space and then using up the last point to cross the river, and it wouldn't stop you. Which is kind of weird, because I mean, you can't cross the river by being more tired. Hopefully they'll, fling themselves at higher ground against the fortified enemy. So you know when I was saying the barbarians were smarter? More aggressive, but their brain do not work so good. Hopefully the rest of the AI is a bit similar if they attack me. Oh, what was it? Take it. Oh, okay. Now I can promote him. Faster movement in woods and faster. What have we got near you? We've got kind of a mix, but the forests seem kind of bare compared to the hills. So I'll get you up on the hills, and yeah, promoting it uses his full movement points for the day, which is fair enough. I mean, I guess he's training or whatever. Hopefully I'll meet another AI soon, because that'll boost writing down to finished, I think. Get you fortified. Basically the wall that these bloody barbarians are throwing themselves at. Let's get a trader out. We might be able to trade with Yerevan, which will hopefully give us a bit more influence over them. If we're getting 1 point per turn, as I say, we need 100, so I would like it to rise a bit faster if possible. Scouty scout. What do you see?
The Pantanal is the most complex intertropical alluvial plain of the planet, and perhaps the least known area of the world.
Intertropical alluvian plain. I have absolutely no idea what that means. If you know what that means, put it in the comments. And then explain it in Sean Bean's voice for me. So I want everything explained in Sean Bean's voice. I don't want anyone to speak to me unless they're doing Sean Bean's voice. Your contact with the other states. Okay, so we've got a bigger boost towards... Oh, someone's getting whacked about. Oh, did we meet a... first... We met Buenos Aires. At Buenos Aires. +2 production in the capital when producing wonders, buildings and districts. Sweet. Rome is a kind of building civ. So if Well, as far as I can tell. So some civs will have focus on war, some will have focus on science, economics, diplomacy, what have you. Rome seems a bit more bent around production now. Oh, wow. This alluvian plain is, breathtaking. 4-tile natural wonder. Way too far even for me to think of founding one next to it. Yet, at least. Trigger a Eureka for writing. Okay. That's a great person thing if you don't know what that means. I lost the thread of what I was going to say then. It'll come back to me. Either way. Yeah, I was talking about Rome being a building one. Yeah, because his bonus is that brand new cities get a building in them, usually a monument. I think it's like the lowest tier building they get for free. And if it's within range, you get a free road to it, which means you get a free trade route to it, which is very handy. It makes new cities grow a lot faster than other civs. How effective it will be in this one, in the late game, I don't know. But it was used to good effect in Civ 5, and Rome was kind of my favourite one for that. And it fits. I mean, I don't know much about Trajan, if that's how you pronounce his name. But I'd never even heard of him, despite him being actually a genuinely decent ruler. But he was apparently very interested in building. Not so interested in economics, it seems, seeing as he built a load of expensive shit, but that's what being an emperor is about. You bankrupt yourself and then leave it to the next emperor. And in this case, it wasn't one that stabbed him in the back, so no hard feelings. We're almost done. We can get our trading route set up.
We have
There we
recently
go.
gained advanced knowledge in city planning.
Writing
know.
means sharing. It's part of the human condition to want to share things. Thoughts, ideas, opinions.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that. Alright, let's begin a route to Yerevan.
In addition to bringing...
Oh, bugger off. Eureka! Your trade rate directly exchanges goods, but a medium of exchange will make trade more flexible. So yeah, that makes sense, right? Right now I assume we're just trading in goods. I've got copper or whatever, and they've got this. I want that, you want this, blah blah blah. But if you can exchange it down to money, it makes things a lot easier. And a lot more universal. Presuming that my currency is the best currency and everyone has to use it. Roman currency probably has the sexiest name, so just saying. Let's get irrigation up so we can get our tobacco. And the Hanging Gardens. Seeing we're next to a river, we might want to push for that one day. But I'll build the campus thing next time. So let's just have a quick look around. Where was that? Oh, it had a spearman in it, didn't it? Spearman looks like he's almost dead. Might be able to capitalise on that. What about you? Have you moved yet? Yeah. Oh, do we find a... Oh, cool. I don't know if Buenos Aires will take that village, but I'm going to capture that and then capture that. Sounds like a plan. Right, how am I doing? City details. Growing in 4 turns. We've got lots of food. We've got the amenities we need. I would have thought copper would have come under that. Isn't it a luxury resource? No, it's just a bonus resource. Oh well. We'll have irrigation for that. We've got 8 houses for 4 citizens. So each citizen has 2 houses each. Fucking 1%. But okay, we're doing good. Turn 30-ish. And we're not dead yet. So, on that note, I'll leave this episode here. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what I do, please do check out my other content. And if you do, I will see you there. Goodbye.